Hey guys, Sherman here, today with a very special deck profile featuring the third place BCS2023 Anaheim deck list, which is going to be Hololive. A very special, a very interesting deck. I don't think we've seen this particular Hololive build do well, but first, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and just, yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Steven. My name I usually go by is S_Katana. I play with Chloe Marin for BCS Anaheim. I think I started the game pretty recently, a couple months ago, I think around August, and I think I'm pretty surprised of how everything turned out.
Yeah, I mean, you did a really great run. Honestly, it was really impressive watching you go all the distance. So, I guess a little bit more about your deck. Why did you decide to take Chloe Marin?
Between the two decks, I was deciding to choose between is either Chloe Marin or Seikano. And I think these were the two decks I came in expecting to play when I first came to weiss. I was planning on playing Seikano and Hololive. And after experimenting, after seeing how some other top 8s with the Chloe Marins, I basically just did an analysis of every single top 8. There was a few top 8s with Chloe Marin, and I kind of just took the ideas from each one and then tried to make it fit for me. And after practice at my locals, I think this deck has more utility compared to Seikano. Without Fine, Seikano doesn't have a climax swap, or it doesn't have a stock swap, things like these that Hololive does have, and I think these were important going into the regional, so that's why I opted to going for the Chloe Marin deck instead of Seikano, even though I had Seikano already.
Alright, well that sounds great. Let's go over your deck choices, or your card choices for your deck. Let's start with level 0, so what do we got here?
Let's start off with the Chloe. This level 0/0 Chloe. Once down in the waiting room, you can pitch a character to get the Resonator, or the 0/0 Louis, and I think I chose with 3 because I think this makes it consistent at the early game when you don't get the 3/2 LaPlus. As this is a Resonate deck, you need the 3/2 LaPlus or else this deck doesn't really function very well. And I don't think I would play any less than this because I think this is just for consistency playing 3 of. For the next one, 3 of the 0/0 Louis that resonate with the LaPlus. And yeah, this is just a very easy way to with like a lot of other Resonate decks, I think this is a guarantee +1 when you have the Resonator in hand versus having to play a Brainstorm and having to bank on hitting a Climax. So 3 of these. Also, this is also important for when you trigger a Climax, you can put a marker underneath the 0, and this helps you push Soul with one of the effects of the Louis as well. So I went with 3 of these. I was through testing. I tried playing 4, play with 2. But I ended up playing 3, and I think I can explain a little bit later once I get to the other card that took the 4th spot of this. For the next 3 of the 0/0 LaPlus that sits relatively big in the middle, 3/5, and I brought 3 of these versus 4 because I don't think you need more than it, and I was a little worried. Also, I don't think this card mattered too much to my early game. It kind of just was there to put a threat on the board and kind of forced the opponent to play a level 0 bomb to face against it. I think this one, 3 played well. I don't think I would play any more or less. And yeah, this is a very good card to have. I played 3 of that. For the next one, I have the level 0 Drop Search Brainstorm. I decided to play these over the other 0/0 LaPlus that can grab the 1/1 event because I did cut down one of the event, and I thought it was just at the top end when you start playing the Marin at level 3, the event was really hard to use. And I opted to play the Mikos in case having another backup plan if my 0/0 Chloes don't work. And I could just search for the LaPlus. So these are also they're 3/5. They can go well with the 0/0 LaPlus as some big bodies at level 0. So I opted to play 2 of these.
You said Brainstorm, but...
Did I say Brainstorm? Oh, yeah. Drop Search.
Just Drop Search, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Drop Search, yeah, my bad.
Whoa. Crazy. 3/5 Brainstorm?
Yeah.
Alright.
And now, for this, 2 Rico's effect. Rene, very strong card. On damage cancel, bounce back. I think generally every deck should have, if they have it in the set, I think this card does bring a lot of consistency and hand fix to the deck, and it helps you grab the other level 0s if you need it. Or sometimes there are also sometimes where you can high roll where like try to get a Marine or a level 2 that. So the Rico effect very strong. Top deck knowledge as well, which also works very well with the 1-0 Chloe. Yeah, do it. Two of these. Now for the 1-ofs of the level 0 lineup, we have the Muna. This is a Search Brainstorm that is kind of like an active Rico effect where on Climax play you can pitch a card to top check your deck and salvage. And I play this to sometimes you just kind of want the Brainstorm. It also has a little bit more milling power than the Resonate Louis. And this also gives you top deck knowledge for the 1-0 Chloe to figure out what you want to be attacking with. If it's a level 0, you want to attack with the other lanes first before Chloe, but if it is over a level 1, this deck will allow you so you can swing with the Chloe first to get the extra stock from the plussing with the Chloe.
So is this where the 4th Louis went to?
This is where the 4th spot took. I was looking at one of the decks, I think it was in Cardiff, UK. They play the 2-2 split of the Louis and the Muna. I did experiment with that, but I feel like at the end of the day, I think having the markers, and considering this is the whole Resonate package, I think I lean towards more. I want to see more Louis than the Muna, so I opted to do this kind of split instead.
That makes sense.
And for the other one, we played one of the Climax swap. Ina, very strong card in Hololive, has a soul trigger, and also gives you top deck knowledge of the top tech to rearrange. And yeah, generally, just I opted this. I like this. You can't go wrong with this compared to the other Climax swap in Hololive. And yeah, just more top deck knowledge would also synergizes very well with the 1-0 Chloes. Next one, we have one Ricky. This is just, I used to play 2 of these as well, but I cut down to 1 because I'll explain a little bit later on when I was not, depends, my level 1 lineup did change a bit, so I cut down from 2 to 1. This one helps with the early game when you have to push yourself to level 1, and it'll allow you to search for the Chloe. And it's kind of funny sometimes where this card will actually be just bigger than some decks that can get over, and since it's also level 1 on their turn, if you fulfill these conditions, they can't side it, and I think that's a kind of funny effect, although I would prefer it being 3-5 versus being 3k level 1. But other than that, it's just a Ricky, very good card to have. Next one would be this Hato that
this one's a little spicy. I feel like nobody's seen this one.
Yeah, this one I teched in specifically for Gura, or I guess essentially any standby decks that would stand by in the back row, and having this effect on play and on sent to waiting room to freeze an opponent will actually like affect a lot of their plans, especially going to this Gura. If they stand by the Gura in the back, you can kind of freeze the Gura and stop them, kind of like stop the chances of them ever getting 3 Guras. So, but throughout this tournament, I don't think this card came into play very much, other than my first round, which was against Gura, and me salvaging this card kind of spooked him to not playing the Gura, no, stand by the Gura in the back, which I think that could have costed him the game. He only was able to pull out 1 Gura instead of if he did stand by out the other Gura. Even if he did do that, I would freeze it and then he can't even play it. So I think this card was a good tech against the Guras. That's essentially what this card was for.
How many times have you either played over this or sacked it for Mari in practice?
In practice, I did use it a couple times. I think it was kind of funny when you get to use it with a Mari because you can kind of freeze both their back rows, especially if they don't have any playables. But in practice, I have not tested enough against Guras. But talking to some other players that did play a lot of Guras, they said this card does affect their gameplay in quite a bit. So I decided to tech it in, even though I haven't practiced with it too much. And for the last two, we have Expandable Brainstorm. This one is essentially, through practice, I felt like I have a lot of success using this, especially when there are times where your Marines get stuck into your stock, and sometimes you just need to, this just helps you get the waiting room access during the main phase. Because like other than that, you can only get access to main phase through the salvage of the 1-0 Chloe's or through the door triggers. And this card just adds a little bit of consistency on the top end to get the Marines. But fortunately, I don't think I needed this card too much during my run at the regionals. But it was a nice card to have when I was practicing with it. And yeah, I don't think I would cut it. I feel like once I cut it, there's gonna be times where I'm like, I wish I had this card. But yeah, so this also the flying assist can sometimes come in handy, especially with playing with the big bodies. The little plus can go up to 4K, and the drop surge can also go up to 4K, which makes it a little bit harder to get over. So this card's a 1-up.
It also makes the Kanata 3/5.
Yes, yeah, level 1 3/5. Very cool. And the last one, very busted card in Hololive. It's just a drop surge on play, and on sent to waiting room. I was considering playing more than one copy of this, but because the card kind of just does everything other than being high power. It can give you milling if you need milling. You can rearrange your top of your deck, and also just the drop surge on play and on sent to waiting room is great. Playing it first as well, so you can just swing with it, and then when someone sends it to waiting room, I can activate it and grab my resonate target after the first turn. So this is a very very cool tech to have into this deck.
So that's 19 zeros in total?
Yes.
That's a little higher than a lot of Chloe Marine builds, because generally you want a lot of level 1s or higher.
Yeah.
What made you settle for like 19 zeros instead
So
of like others?
with the reason I also initially came in building the deck a lot with the level 1s, but I opted to take out less level 1s or higher cards that's higher than level 1s for more level 0s for the utility of the early game. And since I am playing Marine on the top end, I don't think Marine needs that much stock. And I did change out some things in the deck to fit that kind of playstyle of not having to stock. Like the 2/1 Iraha, I took it out because that card on reverse you can kind of refund the cost by blind stocking. But in practice, Marine only needs 4 stock to summon out all 3 Marines. And like depending what other things you want to do is like you want to have more resonate for cards in hand. I guess 6 stock. If you want to stock swap, 7 stock. So in practice, I don't think you need that much stock. So I opted for a more robust level 0 game plan versus adding more level 1s.
Sounds good.
All right, going to the level 1s, we have the Chloe package with the door climax. This card, I really do like playing with this card, where it's like when it's essentially a guaranteed +1, but also a chance for being +2, depending on what's the top of your deck. And it swings very big, which I think it's I do enjoy that quite a bit. Like on swing, it does add 3K, so with climax combo, it goes up to 8K. If you do potentially it can even go up to 10K if you use the event that searches for the climax, adds 2K after play. So Chloe can get the 10K, which gets it over essentially most level 1s, which I enjoy that. And it's a funny, and also it's every time that my opponents would ask like what's the power level, it's like, yeah, it's base. It just doesn't change. It sits very small, and there's a lot of ways to grab back the Chloe's, but yeah, the Chloe, when it does plus you 2, it feels really good. So you can use that stock from the resonate target or brainstorm. It lets you kind of sculpt your deck depending on how you want it, depending on what the deck state is. So this is what the combo was. Going into the next level 1s will be 2 Reines. I was testing between this Reine and the 1-0 LaPlus that gives you a little bit more deck speed. I think with the 1-0 LaPlus, I opted not to play that because I felt like it was locking me into a more Hololive package, which I think takes out a lot of utility out of my deck that I ended up putting in. Like the Mio, the Hato level 0s, even my level 2 lineup, I did take out the Iraha for the Anya that grabs the door. So I ended up opting for more just like a Hololive in general versus the Hololux package. So I switched over to this to give a little bit more hand fix and to bring back the Chloe's and I guess aggressively mulligan in the early game. When I don't start off with my LaPlus, I can dish the Chloe, and in case I'm not going to just summon back the Chloe with the Rainings. Very good card to have. For the last of my level 1s lineup is the 1-1 event. This used to be 3, now it's down to 2. This was back when I was still playing with the 1 choice for the plus. When I took it out, I decided just to go for 8 door. And this 1-1 event kind of clunky to use, especially you're not playing a lot of Hololux, because you need more than 2 cards, more than 2 Hololux characters on the board. So when you're going into like your Marine finisher, your Marine is not a Hololux character, so it doesn't allow you to grab the door. So I cut down to 2, and I stopped playing the level 0 LaPlus that grabs the event as well, since I cut it down. And I don't think, even though a bomb is nice to have, I prefer having my Resonate 3-2 LaPlus through the drop search over than the 0-0 bomb that kind of lose value later on in the game.
Oh no, you're right.
Going into my level 2 lineup, to the 2-1 Anyas that swings. This is actually a crazy card. I think it's just like so much value out of this card, especially with the fact when you have full board, it gains 5k, so it's just a 12k, and it's uninteractive for the opponent because the opponent cannot play any counters or any backups or events. So I put this in, especially if I go against Slime. Murons don't sit as big as 13k, they sit like 12.5 I believe, and if they can't back up, this Anya can just get over it no problem because they can't counter. And it searches for the door as well, which also helps me keep looping the combo, the Chloe combo. And even for the top end, it also works on the top end because you can grab the Marine door. So I think I prefer playing with these versus the event. So this was the level 2 lineup. Next one of these.
Oh, this is pretty interesting.
Yes.
I don't feel like I see a lot of people playing with this one.
Yeah. It's a 2-1 Koyori that resonates with the LaPlus. It gives the effect of minus 1k, 1000 to a opponent character, and they can't play backups. And I think this paired with the Anya, it essentially shuts down 2 lanes for them to have any if they have any plans to play with the backups. Having these 2 cards work together, there goes 2 of their lanes where, especially if you're playing with the early play, swinging with 2 lanes that they cannot back up with first allows you to swing with the early play without having to worry. So I think this is, I didn't have to use it too much, but every time my opponent would like salvage a counter, if I don't want them to play the counter, I will just have this card, and this card will allow me to like have swing over the opponent and cancel them from using a backup.
Yeah, actually, I think the setup is really cool where you play this and then you play this, right?
Yeah.
And then that way, if you're going against like a rest counter, you just attack here first, and then the lane that you give the -2, and then the rest counter doesn't do anything.
Right.
You actually can protect 2 lanes. You basically, just force the rest counter to be useless, which is kind of neat actually.
We like uninteractive gameplay. We don't want them to play the game. When our turn is playing, we want to play our turn, not them playing a counter, and that's not very fun.
Yeah, let me cook, right?
For the last 2, the level 2 lineups, the 2 backups in the deck, there's not much to say about the rest counter. Very strong card to have in Hololive. I think just having this in the deck just gives the risk to the opponent. If they know you have it in hand, they're gonna start siding. I'm not too sure how I feel with the 2-1 rest counter. I did hold it a lot of times in the regionals. I just never had the chance to use it because once you resolve after Marine, they're usually dead by the time I'm finished with the 3-2 Marines combo, especially 3 of them. So I'm considering to take out this card for something else, especially with the go-to gear 0-0 for Worlds. But yeah, these 2 anti-change won't cut this. Sack counter is also very important. I think going into some decks that requires on reverse, and this card's overall very good. And I prefer using this one over the 2-1 other anti-change in Hololive, the Suisse that uses more hand, because the Chloe stock charges you very hard, or it could stock charge you if you do hit the level 1s. This card, I prefer using this one over hand. And yeah, since you don't need that much stock on the top end as well, this card is very good to use when I did have to use it. Funny enough, I did get to use it against an Overlord player that accidentally forgot anti-change exists. Just punched it into one of my characters. I had it in hand, took the Heinz out with the markers on it. So every deck should play anti-change. Alright, going into the level 3 lineup,
I could have doubled.
we have the plus resonate target. Kind of funny how I have a rarity of each one.
Yeah,
The Siren 1, SR, and the double R. It kind of lets me count. Maybe it's just good, just kind of feel of it. I did cut down to 3. I did cut down to 3 La Plus because I did cut out a choice combo. I took out a choice combo for the 8th door, and I feel like once you get one of the La Plus, you don't really need any more La Pluses. And so the other 2 cards just kind of just act as a soul trigger and as an over level 1. There are also times where I would level the La Plus because I needed the yellow, and yeah, once you have one in hand, you don't really need another one. And if you do need to use it to heal, I would prefer. Yeah, this card is fine to heal. I did use it a couple of times. Just play the La Plus in my hand. Once I'm going to my finishing turn, don't need the resonate target anymore. But yeah, other than that, this is just the resonate target. Unfortunately, you have to run at least 3. I don't think I would run any less than this. It will make the package a little too inconsistent. And this kind of takes out some other cards you could potentially be playing with in the deck. But yeah, 3 La Plus. Now for the real top end of the deck, we have the Marine. That if you did play Hololive in Volume 1, this is basically the go-to combo with the door combo. This one, this three Marine, you only need 4 stock, has a really good effect of luck. Once you on play, sack a character and top check up to 3 cards, add 1 to hand, add 1 to stock, and the rest to waiting room. And this just makes the combo very cheap. You can, yeah, I think it allows you the flexibility of your top end, very consistent. Compared to like other decks, like compared to like Gura, I don't think it has a lot of reach. But usually with the Chloe deck, it does soul rush enough where as long as you get them to high level 2 or at level 3, the Maureen can usually finish the job, which she did very well, and as I was expected. And for the last of the level 3s, we have the early play heal or top check up to 3. I didn't really have to use a top check up to 3 too much times. It's just there for the early play, which is 2 or less climaxes. I did have to use it like one time when I just got to level to 2-0. Since there's not much to heal there, it's good to have the other effect of being able to add another card to hand. Kind of refunds the hand. Stock swap. Not much to say here. You kind of need it in this kind of current meta. If your opponent doesn't respect the stock swap and they keep stock charging a little too hard, the stock swap is here to decompress them, and that will help going into the finishing turn. But yeah, that is the deck.
All right. Well, anything else you want to say about your run at Anaheim? Anything that stands out to you about your experience? Was this your first regionals?
Yes, this is my first regionals.
Wow.
I came in not with pretty low expectation. I was just gonna go in just playing my best and see how things go. But they somehow made it up to top 8, and I'm pretty happy that I was able to close it out at the 3rd place.
All right, cool. Well, I guess any final closing remarks, any shout-outs, anything you want to say?
Yeah, definitely shout out to Simu, chairman. I think he helped me a lot in my journey, starting with Weiss. Yeah, just like having the fundamentals, I think it's very important. And yeah, I was able to learn the fundamentals from Simu, and I think that I really appreciate that. And yeah, other than that, thank you to everyone in the NorCal that helped me figure out this deck, play locals with. Essentially, I was able to learn a lot through people in the area. And yeah, I'm looking forward to my performance at Worlds, and we'll see if I'll be playing with the same deck or what changes I'll be making to this deck.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for this interview. Congratulations once again on making top 3 at Anaheim, and good luck to you at Worlds. We're looking forward to seeing how well you do.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for this video. See you guys. Bye. Hey guys, Chairman here. So about 4 months ago, two guys walked into the store that I help run weiss tournaments in the Bay Area. They introduced themselves to me and they said that they had recently gotten into weiss from a shop in Little Tokyo. And afterwards, they went online, found out about Tressas. Through Tressas, found out about my channel. And then through my channel, they found out about the shop, which was quite close to where they lived. And they wanted to learn more about the game. And that was how I first met Steven and his best friend Daniel. And it's so impressive to me just how much these guys have improved from really just new players never having played the game before, but the time and effort and energy that they put into this game, grinding day in, day out, learning new strategies, the basics, fundamentals, learning about new decks, trying all these different things. And I think it's just amazing to see how far they've come, especially at this last regional event. Seeing Steven take it all the way to third place was just incredibly inspiring to me, and it was just such a proud moment for me. And I really hope that his story of kind of getting into this game as a new player just this year and in 4 months being able to do so well at a regional after kind of growing with the community here in the Bay Area, I hope it is inspiring for a lot of White Stars communities out there, because we don't get these new players, this new blood, and having these miracle runs all that often, but I think it's something to be celebrated. I hope other communities can continue to be a place where players can come together, have fun, and also a place where new players can join, learn about the game, play and learn with the community, have fun, but also a place where these miracle dreams do come true. So, Steven, Daniel, I am incredibly proud of how far you guys have come. And yeah, Steven, I hope you do well at Worlds. I'm looking forward to your results there. Yeah.